YouTube. We are out on the farm today. It's been a long time since we made a video. We have done a lot that we will recap and show you guys all that we've done and probably tell you about things we're going to do for 2018. So here we go. We've got this polywire fencing basically in the front yard for the hogs. It's in a really strange shape and I'll show you why. One of the reasons we brought it so close to the house is so their water is right here. So in the mornings, any of you that work and do a homestead, you know you've got about 30 minutes in the morning to, you know, take care of all the animals and then go to work. Now, since we have the water up here, we can bust up the water if we need to. Now, Elmer and I just bought these. It's these tank warmers. So we'll see how this works. We're super excited about not having to come up here and bust up the ice because you can see it is solid ice in there. And it's been unusually cold for East Tennessee, way below freezing temperatures. Reason number 2 we have the fence just so is because this is our garden area and the pigs have done just as we planned. And this is a pretty old garden bed, and you can see almost a perfect square where they have rooted up maybe old seeds or old organic matter. This gets rid of all the weeds, and I mean, you know, we're not even probably gonna, I mean, we'll run a tiller over it, but they've rooted down pretty deep. I mean, like, my foot's down pretty far in some of these holes where they've rutted it up. So what we plan on doing soon, since they've eaten all, I mean, this was all grass when we put them in here, and they have totally taken everything out. We're going to take all this polywire fencing down. Yeah, it looks awful in the front yard, but we're going to take all of that down and we're going to put the pigs back in this area since there's really nothing for them to browse on. And you know, our pigs, the most of what our pigs eat is just kitchen scraps. I mean, we've maybe had to buy 2 bags of corn. I mean, you can give them anything, leftover spaghetti, spoiled milk, old eggs. It just, I mean, the sky's the limit. We have a 2-gallon bucket in the kitchen. And anything we use, potato peelings, coffee grounds, they all go in that bucket. And then every morning or every evening, we'll go dump that bucket out. And also, there is a mill, like a grain mill right down the road, and he had these 2 huge, you know, those big sacks that you put a forklift, you have to lift it with forklift. He had them sitting outside, so we stopped one day and asked him about it, and actually he had been looking for somebody with hogs because he's got, you know, sometimes he gets stuff that's got bugs in it or whatever. He provides all the corn that the distilleries use around here. And if you're familiar with East Tennessee, Gatlinburg area, distilleries are popping up everywhere. So he is supplying them with all their corn, and he does not use anything that's got bugs in it or stuff like that. So we get anything that's spelt, anything that's got bugs in it, he'll give us hundreds of pounds of it, and we've been feeding that to our pigs, and it has been a blessing. I mean, we don't pay any money to keep these pigs alive, and we're going to have delicious bacon and meat in the freezer probably, I'd say, probably this fall, maybe sooner. They're American guinea hogs, so they grow a little bit slower than your commercial breeds. Look at this, guys. All these eggs froze. You can tell it's been a minute since we checked them, but it's not a total loss. Let's see what I'm going to do here. Well, this is where the camera can see. Okay, we're going to take these eggs. I'm going to stick them in this bucket. Okay, you don't got to be fancy about it. Oh boy, one's cracked open. And you know, if I would have checked them earlier, they wouldn't be froze. The girls usually lay sometime in the morning, so if I would have checked them, I would have got them before they froze. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to give it to the piggies. When all else fails, just give it to the pigs. One other huge thing we did, we put in a wood stove in the living room. And it's so nice on very cold evenings to have a fire going. One huge thing we did was we got these 2 bottle calves. They are Jersey Holstein cross. We feed them 2 quarts apiece, once in the morning and once at night, whenever we get home from work. And we've been able to keep up with them, even though we've been working with full-time jobs. It's not easy, and you know, we trade off feeding the cows and all that, so it's not too bad. This cattle panel corral we put up Christmas Eve night in the rain. It was very cold, and we had headlamps on. It's just put up just kind of makeshiftily. The goats kept getting out. We had them in the portable net fencing up here on the hill, and there's just not any browse left, and when they get bored, that's what goats do. They just get out. You have to have a lot of browse for them to stay where they're at, but they cannot get out of this super tall fence. That is awesome. Would you look at that?
It's rough as hammered dog crap.
It's not too bad though. That's pretty flat.
You need help.
It's not bad for an experiment. First board. Whew. I'm gonna take a little break and talk to y'all for a minute. Elmer and I are out here working today on our staycation. We've got about 5 days to get everything done that we need to do. Anyways, a lot of people ask, why do we homestead? Why don't we just go to the store and buy our food? There's a lot of answers to that. Number one is probably because we're passionate about it. You know, and we're not huge conspiracy people, but you know, there's so much stuff in the food at the grocery store. Everything, you know, all the fruit and vegetables look so perfect. That should be a red flag, you know. They're putting something on there that even the bugs don't want to eat. And, you know, you grow it yourself. Everything thrives. You cut out the bad spots if there's a bad spot. But, you know, and I'm not going to lie to you and say, you know, we both work full-time jobs. I'm not going to say that we solely live off of our farm right now. I mean, we just started in June. But, you know, I'm not saying that I don't stop at the Chick-fil-A, you know, in the morning on the way to work because I don't have time to, you know, prepare all these meals and stuff. We're running 100 miles an hour most of the time. I'd like to be at a point where, you know, I can eat stuff from our farm all the time because it's better. Oh gosh, it tastes so much better. You know, we're going to farmers markets whenever we can't grow things ourselves and getting stuff, and it's phenomenal the way that stuff tastes. We got a quarter of a cow 2 years ago from Smelser Farm in Seymour, and that quarter of a cow lasted us about a year. And I mean, whenever you start eating you know, grass-fed or grain-finished beef, it is totally different than what you can get in the grocery store, even what you can get at a nice restaurant. Elmer and I, we cook steaks at home and we'll go out to eat and we're like, this is okay. You know, it just doesn't compare to doing it yourself, cooking it in a cast iron skillet. There's just nothing like it. You know, and another reason why we homestead is because it's rewarding. It's so rewarding because you're putting time and effort into it, and then you're getting way more out of it than what you put in. And it does take a lot of work, but just the benefits. We butchered our first sheep about 2 weeks ago, and for Christmas we had a leg roast, and it was so good. And just to think that we grew that, we made that, we butchered it ourselves, and we didn't have to take it to a processor. We didn't, you know, go and buy it and pay $30 a pound for lamb. And it was delicious. Our family loved it. You know, homesteading requires setting a lot of goals and accomplishing those goals. And that's what Elmer and I love to do personally. I think, you know, I believe that a lot of the reasons why we're sick and why we have depression and all these things, because there's not anything to do. All we do is we go to work, we come home, and we sit in front of a TV. That's it. there's no reward, nothing you're putting in that you're getting benefits from. I don't have time to be sad. I don't. I do everything around here, and it just makes me happy just to look around and see everything that we've done and what we're doing. But anyways, we have failed so much. If there's anything we've learned in the past few months, it's things not to do. We only got 10 chickens out of the 30 chickens that we bought. Actually, we only lost a couple to sickness, or Elmer accidentally set a water jug on top of one's head. It was bad. Anyways, we only lost a couple to that. We had the puppy that we got. He had never messed with the chickens before, and one night we came home and he had went on a killing spree. He killed all but 3. So we got 10 chickens out of the 30 that we bought. So now we know that, we have to keep the animals separated from each other, or keep the dogs put up when we're not home. And yeah, so there's been a whole lot more fails than successes, but it's a learning process. There's some stuff you can't YouTube. There's some stuff you can't grab a book and read about. You just have to do it yourself. You just have to experience it yourself. And I think what's really challenging for us is we both work full-time. I know some homesteaders are working off one income, or they homestead full-time. We do have a mortgage, so we're not able to, I don't think if we sold things from our homestead that we could cover the cost of the mortgage, so we do have to work. But another thing I want to talk about is I get a lot of people when they ask us about what we're doing. There's so much interest. Everywhere we go and people we talk to, they're asking, hey, what are you guys doing now? And I want you to post more videos. And it's been hectic, so we haven't been able to post many. But one of the main things that people say is, man, I want to eventually get land. I want to do what you guys are doing. I want to homestead. And that's what I thought too in the beginning. I said, I want to get land. I want to homestead. But in reality, I should have been doing this way before we got land. I should have been just plant stuff. You don't need 10 acres. You don't even need a 1/16 of an acre. Go outside, make you a garden bed, put stuff in the ground. I believe every household should have a couple laying hens. They're quieter than a dog are. As long as you don't have, the roosters are the loud ones, okay? They make tons of noise. But the hens, they don't. They're very quiet. And you could have a small coop. 2 hens is all you need. You don't need 12 chickens. We have 2 laying hens, that's it. And we have eggs out the wazoo. So get you some chickens instead of a gecko or a hamster for your kids. It's going to be way easier to take care of, and you get free eggs. That's the greatest food ever on the planet is eggs. There's so many vitamins in them and protein, and you could have it for free. For free, people. But yeah, a couple chickens, or if you want to provide your household with meat and you don't have enough room for some sheep or some cows, then get some rabbits. Rabbits are so easy and they reproduce so quickly. All you need is a buck and 2 does, and we haven't done rabbits yet. I want to eventually, but you can produce so much meat from rabbits, and rabbit is delicious. Okay, and it's easy, you know, if you're intimidated by butchering your own animals, rabbits are probably the easiest place to start if you want to get into it and you want to do it. And you know, it's not fun butchering animals. It's not easy to watch something die. It's not. But you know what is sadder is that everybody's eating meat and we're disconnecting ourselves from the process. You know, stuff has to die so that you can keep alive. You know, plants have to die, animals have to die. And just because you don't want to watch it, you know, I'm not saying go out tomorrow and do it or watch it, because it's not fun. You definitely need to prepare yourself. But I get a lot of disgust comments because we're doing this ourselves. Like, oh well, I couldn't do that, or I just can't believe y'all are doing that when you can just go to the store. Those animals die too. You know, just because you're not present for the process. I'm telling you, I had a hard time whenever we did the sheep. The chickens were kind of bad, but the sheep was pretty bad. And I've done tons of research and watched tons of YouTube videos. There's YouTube videos about slaughtering sheep, slaughtering pigs, everything we're going to do. And there's no amount of watching it on a little screen that's going to prepare you for that. And I almost looked away whenever it happened, but I said, you know what? If this is what we're doing, I need to watch. Because that sacrifice that sheep made for us to stay alive is just phenomenal. Well, we are wrapping up a very productive day here, and it's good to know that we got 5 more days to do some more things, get some more stuff done. Pretty pleased with today. So we'll see y'all next time.